Hey guys, I'm Lance. Welcome to my channel, and today I am doing a multi-ring slash straight pour, and as you'll see, this is a lesson in persistence and you'll really get the idea here after a while. I'm pouring some straight pours. I'm doing it with some beautiful colors. You can see I've got my cup there, and there is Venetian blue, there is a Amsterdam light blue, and I think green apple, and pearl amaranth, and pearl papaya, and some magenta. So I had a lot of really pretty colors that I really loved, and I think my idea for this, because this was a while back, and this was a video that I actually had that I just it slipped my mind, but it is pretty large scale. As you can see, it was on a 20, I think 24 or 20 by 30 inch canvas, deep edge gallery wrap canvas, and I really loved these colors. But because I had kept my colors kind of thinner for these straight pour slash ring pour kind of effect, I was trying to also get, because there's a little bit of pearl cell recipe in my white, and I was trying to stretch it across and get some pearls, and I do get some pearls, and you'll see that as time goes on with this. And it's really cool. I really like it. The initial pour, I think, for this straight pour, I didn't think it was super interesting, so I decided to wreck it a little bit. And as you can see that, I'm trying to wreck it a little here and there and see if, as time goes on, I can open it up even more and see what I get. That could be interesting compositionally. And I do get some interesting things, but as you can see, I think I can take my good friend Angie Mason's catchphrase and say I had to keep pouring because I just wasn't soaring. I definitely wasn't. So when you're not happy, you just keep pouring. And so I had quite a bit of paint mixed up, and so as you'll see, I do quite a few other pours, and my idea was to kind of connect all of these straight pours and get some kind of interesting effects by these many different ring pour slash straight pours together. And in the end, I get something that I really like, but it just takes a while sometimes to get there. Now, this is our Monday locomotive train of fluid art videos, and as always, leading us off is acrylic painting with Julie E, and she is at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 p.m. And then there is me pouring together with Lance Travis at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Following me is Angie Mason Fluid Art at 7:30 p.m. And following her is K&K Create at 8 o'clock. And after K&K Create is our new caboose, Y Matson Arts, and she is at 8:30 p.m. So please, if you're just joining us now, go back and watch Julie E's videos, and please watch everyone's videos. I know it's going to be an amazing evening of fluid art. And here we go again. I'm going to pour yet another straight pour. I might need to make a drinking game out of this one. Although people might be pretty schnockered by the time we get finished. So anyways, I poured again, and I do like this. And I thought it was pretty interesting. And I think this was the moment too where I started feeling like, well, I'll see how it goes and see if we get any more interesting shapes, and if not, I'm going to turn this into a multi-poured kind of pour where I'm just going to have a bunch of different straight pours and just manipulate them around the canvas. So I did like this though. I thought it had some interesting colors and shapes, and the color schemes and all of the color palette really is beautiful. And when you see this later, the payoff, hang with me, because when you see this later, it's harder to see. I think I didn't have as much light. I think I did this in my garage and I didn't have as much light. It's harder to see, but there are a lot of really interesting nuances and details to this design when you see it in the end. And I'm going to do some swiping. I did some swiping with white, but I'm also going to do some swiping with the Venetian blue. And those swipes turn out really pretty cool. I do a thing that I'm calling like a swoop swipe. And it's kind of like a loop-de-loop swipe. You have to be kind of careful because you can't really do it in a way that would scrape the canvas. And I did it with my palette knife. And I really liked it. And I think it adds pretty interesting stuff to the composition. The swipes really tie this all together in the end, and we'll talk more about that later in the video.
It's me and you, both speed and my heart is racing, but I'm not sure I wanna pace it, cause it only does this with you. Our bodies meet, I can feel the tension, move us into the next dimension, let's just let our bodies be true. We make out for the thrill of it, mess around for the thrill of it. Don't stop now, never let this end. For the thrill of it, we can have it, no regret. We make out for the thrill of it, mess around for the thrill of it. Don't stop now, never let this end. For the thrill of it, we can have it, no regret.
I really liked how you can see here that I'm getting some really cool kind of boulder-like shapes out of that green apple color. I thought that was kind of neat and kind of interesting. And you can see how I'm getting some pearl cell action popping up here and there throughout the painting as, you know, these different straight pours get poured off. And of course I had wrecked this one as well. And I really liked this color combination because it was not my norm. It was not the normal color combination or color palette for me, but I really did like how it all came together and how it all ties together in the end.
Speeding, my heart is racing, but I'm not sure I wanna pace it, cause it only does this with you. Our bodies meet, I can feel the tension, move us into the next dimension, let's just let our bodies be true. We make out for the thrill of it, mess around for the thrill of it. Don't stop now.
Now, as I said earlier, this is not your typical ring pour / straight pour as far as the paint consistency goes. I was looking to try and do this with thinner paints to see kind of what reactions I would get, and like I said, I was also trying to get some pearls to pop up here and there throughout the images that would get manipulated and tilted. But I do like what's happening now with the additional pour that I did, and like I said earlier, as Angie Mason says, it still wasn't soaring, so I gotta keep pouring.
Pushing the past again, no. You know my little triggers keep on triggering them all. I've had enough of this, oh. Our timeline's getting worn out when we're going back and forth. You know we're only pretending, we're only weak and lonely, and I think we both know it. Why can't we face it? Keep on paper.
If you are liking this video and finding it informative or entertaining, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up and like the video. And please subscribe to my channel, and when you do, ring the bell so you'll be alerted when I upload new videos. And give me a comment, because I really love to hear from you.
We've been wearing out our loving like a pair of favorite jeans. What's getting harder to ignore? Yeah. Kept on stitching up the patches. You know we're only pretending, we're only weak and lonely, and I think we both know it. Why can't we face it? Keep on paper chasing all these made up reasons. You're the only one for me. My heart is twisted. Keep on paper chasing, acting pretty small when we are growing out of love, growing out of love. Growing out of love.
Well, still not happy about it, so what do? You look around and you think, where am I going to pour this next straight pour? And here we go. So if you're playing the drinking game, this is shot number 3. But anyways, I like this, but I think, yep, still not happy about it. I'm going to pour into that. I'm going to pour another pour into the pour that I just poured. So sometimes it's just fun to experiment and to play around until you feel like maybe you're going to get to an outcome that you're going to be happy with. And like I told you about this video, this is definitely a lesson in persistence, because you're either going to make it work or you're going to waste a whole lot of paint. And thankfully, I did make this work in the end, although I'm not sure if you would believe it just yet. But as you'll see later, it does kind of tie together, and I like kind of how it all turns out. It reminds me of, I don't know, it kind of gives me these psychedelic vibes. And like I said, I like the color scheme. It's just not the norm that I do. But it was very, kind of trippy almost for me. And some of the cells that you'll see in this too are so cool at the very, very end, because they look like the evil eye, and they look like cells within a cell within a cell. And I'm sure I could not duplicate or replicate this if I tried. But it is very interesting, and you'll have to hang in here for the close-ups at the very end, because the close-ups are great. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you hanging in here with me for, hanging and being persistent along with me, but I do get some things that I really like in the end, and, I think it's a kind of a fun thing. I think everybody should try to do some multi-cup straight pours and kind of see what kind of results you get. And drink up. I think we're on shot number 5 now. and I'm doing yet another one. And it's probably a good thing that these were some thin paints, because, you know, you wouldn't be doing this with regular straight pour paint consistency, I don't think. You would be having to tilt off a whole bunch more. And so in that, with that regard, I wanted to have thinner paints so that I could have this kind of, you know, ring pour, circular pours, connected and tilted around the canvas, but not have to tilt so much paint off that I would lose that effect. So there was some method to the madness. I know it doesn't look like it at times, but there really was. And so I was really starting to like what I was getting now, and feeling like I was starting to develop somewhat more of a composition now, and kind of understand where I was possibly going to go with this. And yeah, I was really starting to like it. And even that last cup and the last two cups, really, I liked, you know, some of the composition that I was getting within the straight pour itself. And I think this is also where some of my really funky cells started popping up all over, and you can see some of that magenta popping up and peeking through, and it really does peek through in different places, and it's starting to look like it's kind of framed with the Venetian blue a bit. And so that is why I decided to swipe with the Venetian blue and kind of give it like outlines to, you know, these circular pores, and maybe connect it that way so it would have kind of this sweeping motion through, you know, and framing these straight pours.
Is it just a game? 'Cause I got high hopes. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you feel the same? 'Cause I got high hopes. Do you want the same? Baby, all I got is high hopes. Do you feel the same? Do you want me back?
Well, as you can see, we've come a long way from where we were in the beginning. You know, how many, like 6 straight pours later, we have somewhat of a composition that I really have started to love, and it's really grown on me. And as you can see here, this is what I was talking about. I swiped with the Venetian blue, and look at those swipes. I mean, and there's those cells. They almost look like evil eyes. They're like cells within cells within cells, and I love all the lines and the just kind of funky, cool shapes. See, there looks like some more eyeballs. I mean, this really is very psychedelic looking, and it's just bizarre. Like, look at all that lacing. I love the way that lacing looks there. And as you can see, we'll travel around and you'll see, yeah, I did this with my palette knife, and I did this swipe that I'm very proud of, and I didn't get it on camera because I decided to do this off camera when I was looking at it more. And look at that swipe. I love that kind of swoopy circular swipe, and it ended up looking almost like a blue jay or a bird or something. But I love all of the metallics, and that almost looks dragon-like up there. And it just has, it's kind of such a cool vibe to it in the end. And, you know, I think I am soaring now, Angie Mason. In the end, I think we can say we're soaring. And happy with the outcome. I like how shaded that kind of pour looks there to the left, and just some interesting shapes and composition. Thank you for coming with me on this multi-cup straight pour madness adventure, and I really enjoyed this time with you, and I hope you found this enjoyable or informative, and I hope you had a little fun along the way as well. And as always, I can't wait until we meet again for some more fun pouring together.